Mr. Orange Liar's Epstein Panic. Desperate cover-up as America bleeds from his wrecking ball. Policies. Washington, D.C. Oh, what a circus we've got brewing in the swamp these days. Picture this. The nation's gears are grinding to a halt under a government shutdown that's left federal workers twiddling their thumbs and families scraping by on ramen and regret. All while the man in the Oval Office, the one with the spray tan that could double as a traffic cone, is reportedly dialing up Republican holdouts like a mob boss calling in favors. Why? Because those pesky Epstein files are inching closer to the light, and Mr. Orange Liar seems hell-bent on keeping them buried deeper than his tax returns. It's November 12, 2025, folks, and if this doesn't scream guilty as sin, I don't know what does. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This isn't just about one billionaire's dirty little black book. It's the rotten cherry on top of an administration that's been systematically gutting the American dream, one cruel policy at a time. Let's rewind the tape or, more accurately, fast forward through the nightmare fuel that's been the past 11 months since Mr. Orange Liar slithered back into power. Remember the campaign trail bluster. I'll release the Epstein files on day one. He bellowed to adoring crowds, promising transparency like a fox guarding the henhouse. Fast forward to February 2025, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, that Florida firebrand, who's more loyal than a golden retriever on steroids, announces a phased declassification. Sounds official, right? Except it's been a drip of redacted nothing burgers. 33,295 pages in September that were mostly old news, another batch from the estate that same month. And now, today, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee finally coughed up 23,000 more pages after months of foot-dragging. But the real meat, the Justice Department's full investigative trove on Jeffrey Epstein's child sex trafficking ring, still locked tighter than Mr. Orange Liar's lips about his perfect phone calls. Enter the bombshell du jour. House Democrats, led by the ever-persistent ranking member Robert Garcia of California, dropped 3 emails from Epstein's estate that paint a picture straight out of a bad thriller. One from 2011 has Epstein himself emailing Ghislaine Maxwell, yes, the convicted trafficker who's rotting in a supermax, calling Mr. Orange Liar, the dog that hasn't barked. Translation: the guy who knows everything but says nothing. Another gem, Epstein bragging that Mr. Orange Liar spent hours at my house with one of the alleged victims, a teenage girl who'd fled the country under an arrest warrant. And get this, Epstein claims Mr. Orange Liar knew about the girls. Maxwell's reply: I have been thinking about that. Chilling, isn't it? These aren't wild accusations. They're straight from the estate's archives, obtained through congressional subpoenas, because, apparently, the administration's idea of transparency stops at the water's edge of self-preservation. But here's where the sarcasm really kicks in. Mr. Orange Liar's team is spinning this faster than a fidget spinner in a hurricane. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, bless her heart, with that straight-faced delivery that could sell ice to penguins, declared the emails prove absolutely nothing and a manufactured hoax by the Democrat Party. A hoax? Honey, if this is a hoax, then I'm the Queen of England, and Mr. Orange Liar himself. He took to Truth Social because where else would the king of alternative facts post, to dismiss it all as a democratic deflection from the shutdown. In effect, the Epstein files have been released, he claimed, as if dumping 20,000 pages of estate fluff counts as full disclosure. Meanwhile, sources tell CNN that top administration officials huddled today to plot how to peel off supporters from a bipartisan discharge petition in the House. That's the procedural nuke that could force a vote to compel the DOJ to hand over everything. Names like Rep. Lauren Boebert of Colorado and Rep. Nancy Mace of South Carolina are in the crosshairs, with reports of personal calls from the Oval itself. Boebert, who once rode the MAGA wave hard, is now catching heat for signing on. Desperate times, desperate measures, or, in this case, desperate lies. Why the frenzy? Let's connect the dots, shall we? Mr. Orange Liar and Epstein weren't exactly strangers. We're talking 90s Palm Beach party pals, flights on the Lolita Express, though he swears he never went island hopping, and that infamous 2002 quote where he called Epstein a terrific guy who liked him on the younger side. Post-fallout, sure, he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago after some hiring spat, but those emails suggest the knowledge ran deeper. Epstein pitching journalists on how Mr. Orange Liar could be the key to debunking false allegations. It's like watching a bad sequel to Asterisk, The Apprentice Asterisk, but with way more NDAs and fewer boardroom firings. And now, with the House potentially forcing a December showdown thanks to the recent swearing-in of Arizona Democrat Adelita Grijalva, tipping the scales on the petition, the walls are closing in. Rep. Ro Khanna, a California Democrat teaming up with Republican Thomas Massie on this, told The Guardian flat out, "This is exactly why we need the full release." Bipartisan. In 2025, that's rarer than an honest politician. But zoom out, because this Epstein sideshow is just the glittering distraction from the real carnage. An administration that's been treating everyday Americans like collateral damage in its ideological joyride. Let's talk health, shall we? Because nothing says pro-life like policies that leave millions sicker, broker, and begging for scraps. Take TrumpCare 2.0 or whatever, we're calling this Frankenstein's monster of Medicaid eviscerations and ACA sabotage. By October 2025, Maine Family Planning shuttered primary care clinics in Ellsworth, Holton, and Presque Isle, blaming straight-up cuts to Medicaid funding. That's rural folks, the very backbone of Red America, losing access to basic checkups, cancer screenings, and prenatal care. In California, 400,000 people are staring down doubled premiums or going uninsured altogether because Republicans let those enhanced ACA tax credits expire at year's end. KFF estimates net marketplace premiums will spike 75% in 2026 without them. We're talking families choosing between insulin and rent, or skipping the doctor's visit until that cough turns into pneumonia. And don't get me started on the mental health apocalypse. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, underspent by over $860 million in 2025, thanks to the administration's budget scythe wielded by none other than Russell Vought, the Project 2025 Reaper, who's been slashing grants like he's auditioning for Texas Chainsaw Massacre *. Nonprofits and local governments got weeks' notice for multi-million-dollar applications, leaving mental health hotlines understaffed and suicide prevention programs on life support. Veterans. They're cannon fodder in this war on the vulnerable. Reporting from Ted Lieu's office highlights how cuts are jeopardizing life-saving cancer trials at VA hospitals. One vet in Ohio told me off the record, "I fought for this country, and now I'm fighting my own government just to get chemo without bankrupting my family." Emotional whiplash. Try watching your dad a Purple Heart recipient ration pain meds because the VA's access is more difficult under these clowns. Economically, it's a dumpster fire with extra gasoline. Tariffs. Those beautiful trade walls Mr. Orange Liar loves. They've jacked up costs for everything from avocados to auto parts, hitting low-income households hardest. The California governor's office nailed it in an October blast. No treats, all tricks. The Trump administration is killing the economy. Deportations are ripping apart workforces in agriculture and construction, where immigrants, many lawfully present, prop up the system. KFF reports that new eligibility restrictions in the 2025 tax and budget law boot lawfully present immigrants from Medicaid, CHIP, and ACA subsidies, leading to worse health outcomes and a drag on GDP. We're talking billions in uncompensated care dumped on hospitals, rural closures like those in Virginia's Augusta Medical Group, and a ripple effect that's left essential workers taking pay cuts or pink slips. Lucille Packard Children's Hospital axed 87 jobs in October, citing regulatory headwinds. From this mess, and food, SNAP benefits suspended right before Thanksgiving because nothing says "Make America Healthy Again" like hunger pangs during the holidays. Financial ruin. It's the administration's calling card. Project 2025, that Heritage Foundation fever dream Mr. Orange Liar, swears he never read but sure as hell implements repeals chunks of the Inflation Reduction Act, spiking drug prices and gutting research funding. The Lancet pegs the long-term hit. Over 25 years, proposed NIH cuts could cost the economy $8.2 trillion in lost health innovations, dwarfing any savings. Immigrants, veterans, kids, they're all fair game in this zero-sum game where the top 1% gets fatter while the rest of us fight over crumbs. Protests erupted globally in April, with tens of thousands marching against the tariffs and agency slashes, from London to Tokyo. Even allies are side-eyeing us. America first feels a lot like everyone else last. So here we are, on the brink of what could be our last shot at accountability. That discharge petition. It's got legs bipartisan fury from Massey and Khanna, Boebert's waffling signature, and a House vote looming that could blow the lid off the Epstein saga. But the administration's playbook is predictable. Deny, deflect, destroy. Shutting down the government over budget fights, it's a tantrum to stall this very vote. Mr. Orange Liar's threats to Republicans who dare peak, straight mob tactics. As one ex-user quipped today, and I couldn't agree more, he's F-king so guilty. The posts are flooding in. Calls to hash release the Epstein files, memes roasting the hoax line, and a growing chorus demanding, "Are you with the people or the criminals?" Look, I've covered enough scandals to know when the house of cards is wobbling. This isn't partisan sniping, it's a clarion call. Mr. Orange Liar's crew has injured us mentally frayed from the chaos, emotionally battered by family separations at the border, health-wise crippled by care deserts, and financially teetering on eviction notices. Food insecurity. Up 20% since inauguration, per USDA whispers amid the shutdown. Homelessness. Spiking in cities like Denver and LA as housing funds evaporate, and everyone from spineless GOP enablers rubber-stamping these horror show bills to the media fluffers who normalize the nonsense keeps protecting this regime. Why? Loyalty. Fear, a cut of the pie. At the end of the day, once he saves his own skin, he'll kick you to the curb, just like he did the January 6 loyalists, the COVID dead, and every very fine person he pretended to champion. This is our Rubicon, America. The Epstein files aren't just gossip fodder, they're the thread that could unravel the whole demonic tapestry, the trafficking ties, the compromat, the proof that power protects predators. Stand your ground. Demand the full release. Side with the survivors, the vets, the families one missed meal from breaking. Because if we let this slide, we're not just complicit, we're extinct. The people's chance slips away with every redacted page and stalled vote. Who's with us? The clock's ticking, and it's louder than a Mar-a-Lago eviction notice. Santiago, D.C., Maria, November 12, 2025.